Hey guys, how's it going? This is Deadly. Today we're going to be talking about navigation. Learning how to move around the map has to be one of the most challenging aspects of DayZ for newcomers, and it's most likely to cause a lot of early game frustrations. We've all been there. One moment you think you're heading to the Northwest Airfield, and then next thing you're in Berezino. It happens to us all. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some basic tips to help you navigate while you're new to the game. Number 1. Use an out-of-game map. There's a lot of great websites out there and phone apps for DayZ Maps, but the one I personally use is DayZDB.com. A link to that is in the description box below. If you press Shift plus Tab while you're in the game, you can actually open up a web browser that you can use to have your map up without actually having to Alt-Tab out. Another good website is iSurvive, and that one's really good because it has the names listed in Russian. And you can also place down camping locations and locations of like really interesting items like vehicles and stuff, and share those links with your squad mates. Number 2, don't just blindly run inland. You spawn on either the east coast or the south coast in DayZ. Many new players make the mistake by immediately running northwest from their location, hoping to eventually stumble upon the airfield, but as you'd expect, navigation doesn't work that way. You should first find a road sign or landmark in the area and use the map to either find the buildings that you're around or the town name before you begin your journey. Number 3, run town to town, not through the woods. I know it's tempting to pick up a compass and just run west, but you'll usually end up getting lost or getting into a town that you didn't expect to get to. One of the methods of navigation I used when I was learning the game was moving from town to town in small steps. Instead of trying to make the jump from Cherno all the way to the Northwest Airfield, you take small stops along the way. For example, I start and spawn in Cherno, I move to Nadezino, I then move to Rogovo, then to VMC, and then to the Northwest Airfield. And you'll still see me doing this habit all the time during my live streams because I still think it is the best efficient way to gather supplies and navigate to save a bunch of time so you're not sitting on the coast too much. Number 4, take a moment to remember your surroundings. Once you find a navigation path that you like, try using it as often as you possibly can and begin remembering the buildings and the landmarks. You'll slowly build up your memory and will be less likely to rely on a map. Landmarks like Green Mountain, Altair Tower, and grain silos make for great identifiers. It's also good to take stock on what buildings are in each town and their layouts. It doesn't take long to remember what a town looks like. Number 5, if you want military gear, try to navigate towards the airfield or Moschino military base. I have a lot of people who come to my live stream who talk about looting every single coastal town before moving inland, but that's a waste of time. Build loot paths and routes that take you progressively north. You'll not only encounter more survivors along the way, you'll get access to more rare loot faster, and especially helicopter loot spawns, which are probably the best areas to loot in the game. Number 6, the last tip is obviously game time. The more you play, the better you'll get at moving around the map. I know it can be intimidating at first, but it gets easier, trust me. I have 3,500 hours in DayZ Standalone. That doesn't include Arma 2 or Arma 3. It roughly took me around 100 hours, if I remember correctly, before I felt comfortable moving up north without getting lost, and it probably took a couple extra 100 hours to really memorize the entire map. So don't get discouraged if you get lost on a regular basis. Just try to open your eyes a little bit and build those navigational paths that make sense. Anyways guys, I hope this helps you out a little bit or gives you some tips on what you should focus on if you want to start to learn the map a little bit better. Again, a link to all the maps that I use are in the description box below, and again, you should probably pick up an in-game map and a compass, especially a compass for new players. Always go for them. You'll never see experienced players like me picking up compasses, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. A compass is probably one of your most important navigational instruments in real life and in-game, so you should definitely pick one up with conjunction with that off-screen map, and you'll start to navigate around the world like a champ. I'll also include links to some of my favorite loot paths in the description box below to help some of you new guys out. These paths are designed to get up north as fast as possible while looting as efficiently as possible. So it's definitely good for new players if you're learning the game to help you get more action and encounters faster. Anyways guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe for more DayZ videos. You guys can also check out my daily live streams every single morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. A link to that is in the description box below.